Growing up, I always wanted to do so many things.
I wanted to be a vet.
I wanted to be an actor.
I wanted to be a celebrity by any means necessary.
This is Spike Drop Vegas Heist.
I'm only here for a 2B. I don't really care about any other place.
Can't even comprehend what is going on, but I like it.
Hi, my name is Seth, also known as SethFPS, and this is Wannabe. Growing up, I wanted to be an actor, and I actually pretty much did that growing up. I got IMDb credit, worked on a bunch of pretty high-budget films, doing a lot of post-production stuff, but once I kind of got my foothold in, I realized it wasn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to be more of the whole entendre of a setup, and that's kind of what got me into streaming. I wanted to be an actor because I had already had a family that grew up acting. I originally had a lot of theater experience, essentially. I actually performed with Cirque du Soleil for about 4 years when I started about 9 years old. So it kind of just took off from there. And then after my contract had expired, that's when I got more into acting and did I got an agent and did all the screenplays that I could have done and got met with a lot of directors. I'm actually born in Washington State, actually adopted. Moved over to California, lived there for a couple of years, and then moved to Vegas, and that's kind of where I've been all this time. I mean, so on my mom's side, she did a lot of performances for Disney. She did like the casting character stuff, like she portrayed Alice in Wonderland. She did Tinkerbell over in Japan for a couple of years. Same thing with my dad, that's actually how they met. He played Peter Pan. So it's kind of like a cute anecdote to Disney and stuff like that. And then they also moved over to Cirque. That's where I kind of got my acting chops as well, going into Cirque. They support it fully. I mean, they know that, pretty much everything that I've done in the past, they've kind of had, not like a holding of the hand type situation, but they've always monitored and made sure that I was making the right decisions in life. And even right now, like I just found a new job recently just to, pay bills and whatnot, because Twitch does make a good chunk of change for me, but I always want to have that fallback plan in the event that it doesn't. They've actually been really supportive in helping find that, and then as well as making sure that I'm still happy and content with creating the hours that I need to do it, and so on and so forth. Instead of being a stage performer, I'm backstage and I'm working on rigging. And it has nothing necessarily to do with streaming, but it is still post-production and, doing all that stuff behind the scenes. Acting wise, when it came to, camera, I wasn't really getting as many gigs. I mean, that's kind of a very judgmental circle. So you gotta, if you're not really getting your parts, you're not getting anything going, it's not necessarily a you factor, it's just what's hiring, So just didn't really see it coming and panning out for me. So I just moved more into the back end of things, and that's where I kind of really flourished.
Huh? That's so awkward.
I've always had a passion for gaming. I mean, my first video game was actually Ratchet and Clank on the PlayStation 1 or 2. I can't remember, unfortunately, the console, but kind of stuck with it because my dad would always beat my in it. So then, I was like, I got to one up. And then that's kind of just what kept fueling the fire. And then I just kept doing it, got better. Now I'm better than him. So that was the goal, right? My community, they've been very supportive and they've given a lot to me, and I'm very grateful, and I just want to keep doing it and making sure that they're happy, and that's really the end goal for me, is to make people happy. I started streaming on off about 9 years ago. I started off playing Roblox. That was like my big game that I got into. In fact, I worked directly with Roblox to create a couple games as well as with their streaming department and produce content for them, and I got bored of that game, couldn't sit with it anymore. So I gave up on it, gave up streaming for about a year and a half, then came back with a new alias, and I've been growing with that ever since. Yeah, it's mostly FPS titles, so COD, Halo, Splitgate was a big one for me, Battlefield, pretty much any mainstream shooter you can think of.
This map does not look sniper friendly. Someone clip that, please.
In more recent years, something worth talking about, partnered with Shure. That is huge. that is a company that I have always admired. I mean, they have such a rich history, and it is just an awesome, awesome privilege to be able to work with someone that notorious and most renowned in their own industry. I mean, they make the best audio that I think I've ever heard. It's great to be able to say that I've worked with them. There's a team here in Vegas actually called Las Vegas Inferno, and I've been a part of them since March. And I can't say too much. We're working with sure, so it's awesome. I've actually worked with them in the past, back during like almost before COVID. I think it was before COVID. Worked with them for a little bit, for like six or 7 months, and then we had a little bit of a creative difference, so I ended up cutting ties with them, but we recently rekindled that, and we've been working together ever since March. Inferno, I mean, everyone's treated like family. They care about one another. They show up to events. They've shown in each other's streams, and it's just an overall great experience.
Yo, this guy had a rough night, dude. This guy had a rough night, bro.
I really want to start doing a lot more short-term content as well. Hopefully hiring an actual editor that can do that for me, because just don't have the time to be able to delegate to make that stuff for myself. So, and just growing, just doing the best that I can to, grow my audience while also making sure that the current audience is content. Entertainment industry, it's pretty much my livelihood. I just have a deep passion for it, and if I were to move to somewhere like Michigan, not that there's anything wrong with Michigan, but just pointing it out, like Michigan in comparison to this, it's, there's just no chance out there. Don't be afraid to say yes. Platforms, man. Like, I hate that we're in this weird situation where people are trying to get picked by all these other sponsors and stuff like that, or they're just trying to find sides, and that's not the way streaming should be. I think that streaming should be unity of all communities, all shapes and sizes, and that we just need to get along, regardless of money. I mean, I understand money drives the world, but I mean, at the end of the day, happiness is what should drive your money fluid. That is what should keep you going. And if you're unhappy on Twitch, if you're unhappy on Kick, if you don't like some features this one has, but you like this one, who cares? Just stream, click that start button, be you, and get along with one another.